Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Holly with the Nestle Valley Farmhouse, and today we're going to be talking about embracing homemaking. So I will say I've probably been a stay-at-home mom now for roughly 6.5 years, but I feel like I've not considered myself a legitimate like homemaker until in most recent, I'd say 1.5 to 2 years. When we first moved to our little farm, I definitely had kind of homesteading ideas in mind, but I really feel like since I've kind of focused on this type of, I guess it's more of like a vocation, because obviously I'm not getting paid for it, but it is a job in my opinion. It is a something that women used to do back in the day that was very normal. And it's kind of funny because now I feel like since I've kind of, I guess, what am I trying to say? Since I've kind of embraced the identity of homemaker, I feel like my life has just changed so much for the better. There's so many things now that I feel like I just am able to just enjoy kind of the littler things in life. I find myself looking forward to each of the seasons. Like right now, we're right in the middle of summer and we've had an amazing time swimming at our local lake. We've been celebrating holidays and birthdays, and it has just been a great time. So I am kind of going to bring to you, I'm not really sure how many, just kind of my thoughts on like what has helped me to embrace homemaking, what things that you can do to kind of embrace homemaking, and kind of, you know, go on from there. So the first one, of course, is kind of building a kind of cleaning routine, a flow, a schedule. This is something that I've mentioned on many other videos, but I think one of the biggest things for me is like, obviously, it's really hard when you do not have any structure in your day to just feel like the house gets away from you and it's hard to keep up with stuff, because then you end up getting, or at least I end up getting overwhelmed with all the work that needs to be done, and I just find myself constantly like feeling like I'm playing catch up and just getting really overwhelmed, and then I don't want to do anything, and of course that's not helpful. So what I have found is building like structure, and summer is really hard on this. Like this is, of course, I bring this video to you guys in the summertime because in some ways it's hard, especially for us moms that are home with our kids all day. If our kids go to school, or if we're homeschool moms, generally we're not doing as structured of a day during the summer. And I just feel like building in kind of a flow and a routine, even if you don't have like formal lessons for those days, it is still really helpful for me to just have some sort of something. So the way I've structured kind of my week is each day of the week, I kind of have a certain focus. So like Mondays are normally I catch up from our busy weekends, because Sundays I really try to rest and not do a whole lot. I'll basically just do some dishes, but a lot of times there's toys on the middle of the floor that I don't always get to until Monday morning. And, you know, basically just cook and do dishes on Sunday and then rest as much as I can. And then Tuesdays are normally start kind of cleaning my bedroom and the downstairs bathrooms and just kind of work my way around the house throughout the week. Wednesdays, I end up getting, working on the downstairs. Thursdays is upstairs. And then Friday is kind of I've started trying to kind of catch up from the week, but also I'm trying to add like certain other tasks that I don't always get done. Kind of more of like a flex day, I guess I've heard that called. Because Saturdays, we're normally, especially in the summer, we are busy. And so Saturdays I want to be open. It's kind of the same as Sunday. I basically just do dishes and cook some meals. And then I might try to get the kids to help me tidy up real quick, especially if you have company and stuff. So building a routine. Number 2 is kind of getting perspective and remembering, like focusing, like who are you doing this for? Why do you believe that this is important? For me, it's I want to create a comfortable, cozy space in my home for my children and my husband. I want him to be able to come home from work and have dinner, for the most part, mostly done, or sitting on the stove waiting for him. And I want to be able to just enjoy time with him, to enjoy time, and our kids just to have like a comfortable, cozy space. And I want to learn how to cook more meals so that they can have, you know, healthier meals and all those different things. And I think also just focusing on it, thinking of it more as a job. It is to me, it is a job. Like, I work for my husband in a sense, you know, and he's the one that goes out and earns the income so that we can afford this. And I'm the one that basically tries to make his home, like, how am I trying to say this? Basically trying to make the home as comfortable as I can for him while he is, you know, while he's away. So when he comes home, he has at least a nice, like, he doesn't have a lot to do, I guess I should say. Because I have friends who, for whatever reasons, you know, the husband does a lot more and he is exhausted because he comes home and he has to pretty much clean up after everybody. And it's just not the kind of lifestyle that I wanted us to have. So I do think that perspective, remembering who you're doing it for and like why you're doing it is really important too. So another thing is trying to find ways to connect with your kids and with your spouse. So I think we do see a lot of kind of homemaking content is mostly cleaning and cooking. And part of that, of course, is because I'm not necessarily keen to like be showing my kids on every single scene that I film, because I just want to give them some anonymity, I guess is the right word. But basically making sure that you are finding time to spend with like doing fun things together. So a couple things that we're planning on doing this summer to kind of connect with our kids. So in the spring, I know we talked about it, but I hosted a little spring garden tea party, which was an absolute hit. It was so much fun. My girls had a few friends over, and their cousin came over, and then I had some friends over, and it was just an amazing time. And so I really feel like they felt special. They felt like this thing was really nice for them. And then while I was spending time with them, my husband was actually taking the three youngers, and they went to Chick-fil-A and had fun playing in the play place and going to a restaurant, which we don't have one super close to us. So it was kind of nice for them to be able to go, and it was like an extra treat. And it also helped because they took a nap kind of the whole way home. So it was kind of nice. So they were able to get their nap in too. But really connecting and spending, and also trying to just find ways to connect with, you know, your kids. And I try to do it with my husband too, especially like after the kids go to bed. I try to do really quick. Like I said, I don't always do the dishes. I don't always clean up, because spending that time with him is really important to me. And I feel like another thing that kind of goes along with this is just kind of embracing the seasons. And part of it too is like embracing the physical seasons. Like right now we're in summer, so we are focused on swimming at the lake, barbecues, cookouts. We have a couple birthdays, we have camping trips, because that's what we like to do in the summer. But also like the season of life that we're in. We still have a couple little kids at home, so we're not basically able to just up and go and do all the things we want to do. But it's kind of fun focusing on the things that we can do as a family to kind of grow and connect in that way. I really have been enjoying just kind of, honestly, I feel like this year I've really been intentional about kind of just embracing the different seasons of the year. And I feel like it's made things, I don't know, I feel like I've actually enjoyed each season. There have been years that like we get to fall and I just feel like we didn't even have a summer because we were just so busy, or I just didn't feel like we had a whole lot, like we did stuff, but either we were just too busy and we weren't able to I wasn't able to really enjoy it like I wanted to. And so it's been really nice this year to kind of focus on all the different things, and I feel like I'm enjoying it a lot better. So another thing that I think is important when you are trying to start kind of embracing the homemaking lifestyle is taking your time, knowing like I said, I've probably been legitimately embracing this lifestyle for probably, like I said, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, that I've really tried to kind of lean more into this versus just, just kind of, oh, I'll get to that, or that sounds nice. I mean, and I really feel like I still don't know a lot of things. and it's like with trying to focus on, kind of picking your few important things. Like for me, it was important to really start learning how to cook from scratch. And that is something that I've been kind of doing. And I haven't been doing as much bread baking this year as I have in years past, but I do intend to kind of focus on doing, to get back into that maybe by this fall when things kind of start to get more, it's not like things are going to slow down this fall, but they're going to get more consistent or more predictable is maybe a better way to say it. And so I really feel like, though, taking your time and not rushing and trying to learn all the things all at once. Because if I'm being honest, I want to learn how to make herbal medicine, grow an herb garden. I want to learn how to, we're going to look into other livestock. I want to learn how to milk. I've milked sheep. I babysat, my goodness. I house sat for our neighbors across the street that actually have dairy sheep, and I've done that before. But it's like, I want to learn how to make sourdough and all these different things. But the problem is when you try to do too much at once, you absolutely get overwhelmed. And that is why I feel like in the beginning, I think I was trying to do a lot of that because like, full disclosure, I actually had a sourdough starter for like about a month or so, and I could not for the life of me ever get it to properly rise or do all the things that it's supposed to do. So I just gave up on it. But I do think that's something that I might try to get back to this fall, because the problem is when you start looking at like all the aspects of homemaking, it is extremely overwhelming. But I feel like once you kind of get like focus on like one area at a time. So like for me, it's keeping the house tidy and finding ways to be creative with like our grocery budget and stuff. And as some of that becomes kind of second nature, so to speak, like it'll get easier. You know, I want to learn to sew. Well, I know how to sew, but I want to get better at sewing, I should say. And so I really feel like, and I want to find time to sew, because that's probably been my biggest issue, is just finding the time, because we're just really busy over here. So I really feel like overall taking your time is really beneficial and really something that like you don't have to do it all at once. It's really nice to be able to learn, like just take your time learning a skill, and it might take you 6 months to learn all the things you want to learn. It might take you years, and that's okay too. I guess that's the nice thing, is that it continues to kind of like, it's a journey. It's more than just like, oh, I have to be at this point to consider myself a homemaker. I kind of feel like it's something that you just continually walk through kind of your whole life, if that makes sense. So another thing, last but not least, I guess I should talk about it, is to make sure that you're factoring in your hobbies, your rest, like your whole persona, your whole life. Absolutely, like the bulk of my life is serving my family. That is what I love to do. I do get fulfillment out of that. But I also take time for my hobbies. Obviously, my YouTube channel is one of my hobbies. And like sewing can be a hobby, knitting, crocheting, all those things. I have not really found those to be relaxing. But I like to read. I even like to watch shows on Netflix. There's certain genre of shows that I enjoy. I feel like, you know, building in that rest and making sure that you give yourself a little bit of, like, you are important too. Like, you don't have to necessarily be breaking your back doing all the things. And that's one thing that I feel like that I'm kind of trying to find the balance with, you know. Like, I really enjoy, there's just a lot of things I really enjoy, but I also think it's fun to have like hobbies that kind of help you learn new skills. Like, obviously I want to get better into sewing. That's kind of one of my other goals for this year. But overall, I just feel like taking your time, making sure you're connecting with those that you love, and kind of remembering why you want to do this are all ways that you can kind of build on this lifestyle and start really embracing it and just kind of thriving, in my opinion. Like, I really do feel like ever since I've done that, I've been really thriving. So I hope those were some helpful tips. I know it's been something that's kind of been on my mind lately, and something that I've noticed more and more people wanting to kind of embrace. So I hope you guys like that, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.